I consider myself a very seasoned mystery thriller suspense reader. I'm sitting next to the best thriller mystery suspense books that I have read since I started tracking them separately in 2018. So I have a list of probably, 60 books here. And what I thought would be fun to do is go through them and say if I would still recommend them to a reader in 2025. Would these still make my favorite list? What sets them apart? And do I still recommend them? So let's get into it. All right, I have not gone back and refreshed myself with the synopses of these, so I'm going off my gut reaction. Would I recommend them still or not? What was going on for me in 2018? We had a good year. We lived in our old house. We did not have children yet, and that's actually the year. Is that the year we got married? Yes, it's the year we got married, so that was a great year. First up is Sarah Pinborough's Cross Her Heart, and I remember this has a therapist tie-in. Obviously, all of these I really liked at the time. I remember it being a past page turner, but honestly, I can't remember much more about it, which is kind of a shame. It's about a single mom, her teenage daughter, and her troubled friends. So I would say I don't recommend this any longer. I literally can't remember anything about it. I do like the cover. It's kind of holographic, and it introduced me to Sarah Pinborough, who is an author I still read today, but this one I can't say that I still recommend. Believe Me by J.P. Delaney. I used to read a lot of his books. I think it's a guy, but it's a pseudonym. So I don't know that we know who it is, but she was a struggling actress. It's kind of a popcorn thriller, but no, I no longer recommend this. Watching You by Lisa Jewell. I love Lisa Jewell. She can do no wrong for me. And this one was good. I remember enjoying it. If you like domestic suspense books, then yes, pick this one up. The Lies We Told, Camilla Way. I like the cover. I don't know that this is my all-time favorite thriller. I remember adding it pretty late in the year. It came out in October 2018. It's psychological suspense, and I think it's sort of a Gone Girl take, but I would not say that I recommend this today. Bring Me Back by B.A. Paris. I liked this book. It's bonkers off the wall, but it's unique. And I know people hate this book. I don't care. I still recommend it. I thought it was a good time. It's weird. I like B.A. Paris a lot. I've read a lot of her books, and this one was fun for me. The Woman in the Window, A.J. Finn. I loved this book. I thought it was so clever. There's an adaptation. I think it's Amy Adams that stars in it. I do not recommend it. A.J. Finn has a very interesting past that includes lying about cancer, allegedly. Google him, so I no longer support this author nor this book. Our Kind of Cruelty, Araminta Hall. I loved this book. I thought it did something really unique. It's a story of obsession, and it's twisted. It's weird. I think this one stands the test of time, though, but you have to be cool with like an obsession story, which on occasion I am. One I don't have a copy of, it's probably somewhere, I might have lent it out, is And Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. That is my #1 Lisa Jewell. Highly recommend this one. That's still on my favorite books to recommend. Finally, you've got The Wife Between Us, and I can't remember much about that book. Unfortunately, I don't even remember the author, so I'm going to say that's on my no longer recommend list, which kind of makes me sad because I feel like I enjoyed it, but I can't tell you a single thing about it, although it's been several years at this point.
Editing Tina here, and I'm kind of mad because I definitely do still recommend The Wife Between Us. It's by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I enjoyed that book so much, and I enjoyed it so much that we actually used it as a part of our engagement photo. So please accept my apologies and amend and add that book to the books I would still recommend list.
For 2018, I'm still recommending 4 of the 9 books that I said were the best mystery and thriller of 2018. 2019 books are up. This one I think I'm going to have better success with, although I can't be sure. These are the ones that I still have in print. 2019. Let's see. I don't remember a ton about it, so I'm going to have to look at some pictures, but I think it's the year that we got our dog, and it was the last year of being a couple before we had our first kid. First is The Lost Man by Jane Harper. I do still recommend this one. Is this the one where... Yeah, this is my favorite Jane Harper book. I like this one even better than The Dry. I thought it was really good. It's a family drama set in the Australian outback. I still recommend this. The Wives. I don't recommend this one. It's about polygamy, but I don't know that it was done in the best way. I think this man had a wife on every different day of the week. It's twisty, it's convoluted, and I would say it's on my no longer recommend list. The Arrangement by Robin Harding. I really like this one. It's about sugar babies, and she did a really thoughtful job portraying this industry. I quite like this one. It's my favorite Robin Harding. Oh, The Silent Patient. I love this book. I still recommend it. This one is a book that launched a lot of, I don't want to say copycats, but it inspired a lot of books. It's about a woman that allegedly commits a crime that never speaks about it, and the psychiatrist who tries to get her to tell her story. I thought this one was really good. I'm one of those rare people that has liked every book that Alex Michaelides has written, but this one is still my favorite. Whisper Man, this one was good. It has a creepy boy that is hearing whispers coming through the doors. Sort of a almost tipping its toe into horror, but I still recommend this. Stranger on the Beach, this one was good. It's rich people behaving badly. I liked it. Probably not a favorite. Did it stand the test of time? No, probably not, but I still enjoyed it. So I'm gonna put it in the recommend column. No Exit. I loved this book. This book rocked my brain. I loved it. So fast paced. It's about a woman who pulls off on a snowy rest stop and sees a kid trapped in the car next to her who is in a cage. And so she gets trapped there with somebody that is taking this child and has to fight her way out. I read this on a plane. I absolutely adored it. I was so immersed. Runaway, Harlan Coben. This one was fine. Is this the one with the dad? I think this is the one with the father and daughter. I would say I still recommend it. Harlan Coben's not somebody that I return to often. This was my first book by him actually, and the only the second one I've read since then. But I do still recommend it. Lock Every Door by Riley Sager is one I still recommend. A woman has this too good to be true job. She is caretaking this very expensive penthouse and she's apartment sitting in Manhattan. It's the best job ever. And then weird things start happening. This one was such a good ride. I wish he would do this again. An Unsettled Grave by Bernard Schaefer is one that I still recommend. This is about a female detective and basically it's very gritty from what I remember, but I remember being very intrigued. It's also quite under the radar. All right, for this year, I did pretty good. I still recommend 9 of the 10 books. Next is 2020's Best Thriller, Mystery, and Suspense. This one surprised me. 2020, what took place in 2020? So many things, obviously lockdown, but also we gave birth to our first child, which is obviously the best part of that year. I also had a really good year reading. Pretty Things by Janelle Brown is still one of my favorite thrillers to recommend. It's a con story about this couple that tries to con an heiress out of her money, and it's set in Lake Tahoe. Great setting, great twist. I love this book. It's also really smart. It's not a popcorn thriller. You got to sit with it a little bit, but it was a really good time. The Brightlands by John Fram. This book is horror, actually. It's horror adjacent. It's totally off the wall. It's about, listen, I'm not going to tell you what it's about. It's about football, and it says the town of Bentley holds 2 things dear, football and its secrets, and I totally agree with that. Love this book, still recommend. Mexican Gothic, I enjoyed this one. I know this one's very polarizing. I do still recommend it. There's a creepy house that's got weird things going on and it's set in Mexico. Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier was incredible. I love this author. Highly recommend this one. The Boy in the Woods by Harlan Coben is the second Harlan Coben book I've read. I enjoyed it. I remember there being a character that stands out, and other than that, I don't remember much, so I would not still put it on my recommendations list. 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. Loved this one. This one is so clever. It's about an author that writes kind of crime novels and somebody starts targeting people and killing them based on the killings that he wrote about. This one is perfect for winter. I still recommend. Saved by S.K. Barnett. A woman gets kidnapped and then returns many years later after people have stopped looking for her and she's totally changed. I still recommend this one. I remember being really, really into it. I wonder if this author has written anything since, and I dropped it in a poll and I still kept it, so that should tell you something. When No One Is Watching, Alyssa Cole. Yes, absolutely still recommend. This is sort of social horror meets thriller, and it's about a woman who discovers some really disturbing secrets in her hometown in Brooklyn. Last Flight, Julie Clark, is one of my favorite thrillers to recommend. A woman gets on a flight and she switches her ticket with another woman, and that plane ends up going down and she decides to take over that woman's identity. This one is so thoughtful, so caring. I was surprised. It made me feel. Highly recommend. Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. I still recommend. This was my first foray into S.A. Cosby's writing. This is his sophomore novel, and it's about Bug, and I loved it. Finally, Goodnight Beautiful. I really enjoyed this one. It is about a psychiatrist who works out of his home, and I think it's his wife that is listening in on sessions. This one is really good. The audio is wild. There is a narrator that's certainly a choice, but I still recommend this. Overall, I still recommend 10 of 11 of these thrillers. 2021 reading was really good. We had a 1-year-old, and what were we doing this year? I'll enter a picture here. You've got The Pact by Sharon Bolton. definitely still recommend this. My first Sharon Bolton book is about friends at university who do something really bad, and one of them agrees to take the fall and gets her revenge. Absolutely loved this. Speaking of revenge, Out by Natsuo Carino, I definitely still recommend this. I think about this all the time. It's about a woman who gets her friend's help in dismembering her husband's body after years of abuse. Obviously, it's very gruesome. All Her Little Secrets, Wanda M. Morris. I still remember where I was when I finished this. I was on a treadmill walking, and I just kept walking because I wanted to finish it. Still recommend. It's about a lawyer that finds her boss that she had been having an affair with dead in his office. Crazy. Razorblade Tears, one of my all-time favorite books by S.A. Cosby. It's about two fathers who decide to get revenge of the murder of their sons. Loved this one. Highly recommend. Another one I loved is These Silent Woods by Kimmy Cunningham Grant. It's about a father and daughter who live in an isolated woods for reasons, and then their world starts crumbling down. I loved this one. Highly recommend. The Push by Ashley Aldrain. What an incredible reading year. Loved this one. 5 stars. Recommended to everybody. It's about a family that has a daughter that's really creepy. Too Good to Be True, Corolla Levering. I do still recommend this. Lots of great twists and turns, and I did not see where this one was going. The Night She Disappeared. I don't remember much about it. I know it's Lisa Jewell. I know I enjoyed it, but I can't tell you the finer points, so I'll take it off my list. I invited her in. Adele Parks. Loved this one, and she introduced me to this overly specific trope that I ended up loving. When you invite someone to stay with you and they overstay their welcome, I think that's so fun, and that's a great example of this book. All right, I recommend 8 of 9 of those books from that year. 2022 might be the toughest year for mystery and thriller. What was happening in 2022, we moved into our current house and we had some decent reading, although it's not the best mystery and thriller year. First is The Golden Couple by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I enjoyed this. It's about a golden couple and their psychiatrist, although I will take it off my recommend list because I don't remember anything else about it. All the Dangerous Things, Stacey Willingham. I do still recommend this one. It's about a mother who is losing her mind because her daughter was taken out of her home. Thought this one was really heartfelt and surprising. The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark. I remember I was on a plane when I was reading this one, and I was headed to actually Pages in Southern California to meet Julie Clark and Janelle Brown, and it was the best time, but I highly recommend this one still. This one is a con story, and it's good. It's also a revenge story and such a page turner. Or Invited was fine. I think I'm taking it off my favorites list. It was decent. There's a wedding, but I don't remember much about that other than that. The Violin Conspiracy, Brendan Slocum. I definitely still recommend it. A man gets his $1 million Stradivarius stolen and has to backtrack and figure out who took it. And there also is a lot of history associated with this instrument. Highly recommend. Another one I love is Wake by Shelley Burr. I still recommend this. It is a cold case, and if you like Jane Harper's books, you will like this one. It's about a cold case in a family that never really got over the loss of their daughter, understandably. And speaking of cold cases, you've got the Book of Cold Cases, Simone St. James. I really enjoyed this one. This actually is my favorite Simone St. James. I remember there was a true crime blogger that gets more than she bargained for while interviewing this woman that was accused of murder. Really liked this. For 2022, I still recommend 5 of 7. Finally, it's 2023. These are my favorite mystery and thrillers from 2 years ago, and I think a lot of these will still hold up. And in 2023, we had the birth of our second daughter. Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates is so brutal. They are stranded in a snowstorm and people keep dying one by one, and it's clear there's a killer among them. Highly recommend. 5 stars. Strange Sally Diamond is a book that I recommend to everybody. It's incredible. I still recommend this one. It's about Sally, who's a totally misunderstood woman, and the thing that happened to her to make her so unique. The Writing Retreat, Julia Bartz. A woman goes on a writing retreat. Turns out her ex-best friend is there, and there is rivalry. Things are getting weird, and if you like authors behaving badly, I thought this was a good one. Drowning by TJ Newman was so just anxiety-inducing. A plane crashes to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean with people still on it, and it becomes a rescue mission, and they try and get out. This one will definitely have your heart racing. Also really cool in Pages. Of course, I mean, it looks like I liked this one. It's All the Sinners Bleed, S.A. Cosby, and this one I got signed. And I remember really enjoying it. Razorblade Tears is still my favorite, but you truly can't go wrong with this author. The Quiet Tenant, Clemence, Michallon. Loved this one. It's quiet, but it's about a woman that gets kidnapped by this man that everyone thinks is this perfect every family man, and it follows her as she tries to escape. It is quieter, but it's so smart. Adrift by Lisa Brideau is a climate fiction thriller. A woman wakes up on a ship with no memory of how she got there and backtracks to figure out how she arrived. This one's very under the radar, but I think it's definitely worth the read. My last recommendation for this video is Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. This one, whew, if you like true crime, you would like this. It starts with a murder in a sorority house and then works backward to figure out who it is. It follows a serial killer that is Ted Bundy-esque. I thought this one was really, really smart. I also did not like the author's previous novel, The Favorite Sister, so if you didn't like that and didn't pick this one up because of that, maybe still give it a try. Luckily, I still recommend all the books that I recommended in 2023. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I took so many books off my shelves and I'm not looking forward to putting them back on, but I thought this was a fun time. It was really fun to revisit all of the best of the year lists that I had put out. If you pick up any of these books based on my recommendation, especially some of the ones that I recommended a while ago, please let me know. But as always, thank you so much for being here and I will see you in my next video. Bye. And it was a great year. Is that true?